Niggas talk a lot of shit in a safe place, aiming with their keyboard. They shooting up a case.
That's gonna be you in the comment section after watching this. You probably expected a serious, profound, and a bit depressing video. Well, too bad, it's only the latter. Welcome aboard. Now, the sound clip from the intro was actually meant as a way to transition into the point I want to make. That
niggas talk a lot of shit
and are
in a safe place,
where they are
aiming with their keyboard,
and
they shooting up a case.
Somehow I think I just interrupted the song less than DJ Khaled would.
We the best music. Another one. DJ Khaled. I'm on my way. DJ Key is not to drive your jet ski in the dark.
People talk shit on social media, but what prompted me to make a video on this topic was the disgusting aftermath of the tragic passing of game critic John Bain, aka Totalbiscuit, after a long-fought battle with cancer. While there was a lot of great support for the family and friends left behind, this is the internet and nothing sacred. Weird, the world just felt a little bit better sometime around an hour and a half ago. Oh wait, I know, it's because Totalbiscuit died. One can only wonder how David somehow managed to garner enough of his already sparse brain matter to fumble enough words together to create a somewhat coherent statement. He must have taken use of a translator or something. The comparison only makes sense given that apes like to sling shit around all the time. I can only assume he disagreed with the TB, probably was frustrated over criticism or the fact that he supported the Gamergate hashtag, a controversy about ethics in gaming and gaming journalism. But unfortunately it resulted in threats and harassment for both sides of the argument. Not something TB exactly agreed with. So a grown man pisses on a guy who suffered from cancer merely an hour after he died for having a different opinion. I know TB could be a bit harsh or intense from time to time, even said some rather controversial things, but if that's an argument for being happy about his death, you are absolute scum. And this is just one out of thousands of people who decided they'd take a step down the ladder of human evolution. This person, for example, clearly thought that they were in the winner's circle on the moral barometer and were being the better human being compared to whoever he responded to. He was not an innocent guy. Bane was a shithead, he was a gamergator, he was an harassment mob leader. Thing is, that's actually all lies, slander. So many people are blind to the fact that these things goes both ways, just like my dinner when I read this. In my research I haven't found any proof of him harassing anyone. Actually, I only found some of his many tweets where he disagreed or argued with someone. Is that harassment nowadays? He was a commentator, for God's sake. If some people decide to put their thoughts online for the public to see, you are eligible for criticism. It doesn't matter if you're TB or this Hello Kitty guy. When called out, this same person called TB's fanbase toxic. Imagine being publicly happy about the death of a father, husband and beloved content creator because you thought that gamer journalism had become unethical and biased, and then you proceed to call people who support him toxic. These people whine about harassment but goes on to dance in the grave of a family man online just minutes after his death was announced by his devastated wife. Come the fuck on, man. I see the comedic effect of like saying you see a jackass and you like say I hope he gets hit by a train, right? You don't actually mean that. That's comedic, but this, they all mean this, okay? They all mean that. I know some of you watching right now are thinking, but Kakio, I know these are horrible, why are you explaining that to me? Well, I don't know, I'm just baffled and want to rant. Like, yes, truly Mr. Shitbiscuit. This belongs in the kindergarten, Mr. Shitbiscuit, really? This is like when people say drum for chivalry or whatever else people do this with. It's equally dumb and childish. Holy hell. Now shut the up and let people deal with this however they want. Basically saying that people should just let others celebrate the death of a 33-year-old because that's how they deal with it? This makes me come back to the Brockhampton song from earlier.
See niggas get anxious, all these internet gangsters. I'm running out of patience. Niggas stick to your day shift and watch what you're saying. And please keep praying, cause niggas talk big to that price on their head.
Internet gangster, of course, referring to me, but some people only start to realize how horrible something is once it happens to them. Here's a compilation of some other tweets I found. I'm seeing a lot of tweets and responses, and in my opinion, I don't think the tweet is wrong for exposing facts. This is exactly what's wrong with today's flurry of information. People take others' words as facts just because they sound true or rational or perhaps even intimidating. They get peer pressured into thinking something. And then they form opinions that are hard to resolve again based on nothing but opinions and even downright false slander. But after all, most of us are guilty of this. I, for example, foolishly thought that the subscribe button meant that viewers wanted more content from that creator, but I was wrong. But why does this happen? Why does people end up with such radical beliefs and thoughts. I think part of it is that they simply forget what reality is. They forget to think about how horrible dying truly is, how final and painful it can be. They have no respect for death until they themselves are hit by it in some form. To some people, those who they deem as bad human beings are deserving of having their deaths celebrated. All that separating them from simply saying nothing versus rejoicing in the death through tweets and comments online is a matter of differing opinions. They demonize this man, assassinating his character after his death. And well, in the eyes of a member of the White Condom Gnomes, a racist might be a good person, while a guy with colored hair and a pony fetish might be seen as the Antichrist. It all depends on the eye of the beholder as to who's a good human being and who isn't. But as decent humans, I think we can come to an agreement on who's our species' most extreme cases of idiots. Like people celebrating the painful, slow death of a 33-year-old man who just loved gaming and wanted the best for it in his own way. Another reason as to why I think this happens so often is that echo chambers can change minds. If you only interact with people who agree with you, you end up with a warped view of reality. I don't believe it automatically makes you an awful human being to be subject to this because most people still have the best intentions. But again, when you get to this point, you might want to recalibrate your moral compass. And this is how the internet bends morality. Something that most people find obscene can be accepted and validated by enclaves of people with certain views. Setting ducks to their own validation and acceptance of each other's radical views and pushing them further from society's moral code. But that's just a theory, an idiot's theory. Thanks for watching. Now, we all know that this happens to many more people than Totalbiscuit. He was just the example here. I was personally really saddened to hear of his death, not only because he was so young and had a family, but also because he was a big inspiration to me. I have followed him ever since his World of Warcraft Cataclysm videos, so seeing an influence like him gone so tragically pains me even more. But life, as brutal as it can be, moves on, and I hope that Jenna and her inner circle can adjust and live happy lives regardless. No matter what, John will live on through the positive impact he had on millions of people. I felt like getting that off my chest. I promise my videos will be a bit lighter from now on. Just promise me that you won't seriously wish death on someone just because they don't subscribe to all your opinions. But I know what you should subscribe to. Good values and a mirror. Thank you.